Hi. So I am so excited for you to join me today in my webinar about 13 habits for women who desire self-love. So welcome, I'm Brianna Warner, and if you notice, I just did an act of self-love, but also realized that I didn't have a lot of time to finish that act before I had to get this video out on a deadline. So here I am in my rawest form, showing you what self-love looks like. And self-love looks like showing up on camera with your hair half done. You know why? Because it's not about me. It's about my message. And I want you to know why I'm here. Not only was I addicted to sugar and depressed, I lost 52 pounds by just changing my mentality about the way that I viewed food in my body. I thought about food as fuel, and I thought about eating a salad and investing in a salad as investing in my health as opposed to a burger, which is always cheaper than a salad, right? Healthier food is more expensive if you're looking for the ready-made, right? Like if you go into the grocery store, it's going to be cheaper to get the produce and the healthy food. And I also lost my dad 10 years ago. It'll be 11 this coming April. But he gave me my personality and how I speak to the world and how I really love helping people, because he helped so many people. But being human and being flawed, he had that one piece of self-love that he didn't have, and he didn't eat healthy, and he had high blood pressure, high diabetes, anything you can think of. He also smoked cigarettes, and didn't exercise, right? So all these unhealthy habits compounding on top of each other. Whereas if he showed himself that self-love, he could still be here to share his message. So I feel so honored that him and I are so close that I am sharing my message through him, right? Like I lost him, and if I could just change one person's mind about their body and food so that your family doesn't lose you to something like a stroke. We lost him to a stroke, right? On top of the diabetes and the high blood pressure and smoking cigarettes and doing all that negative stuff, right? So I don't want to, tarnish my dad's legacy. He was an amazing man, and he helped so many people. I just wish he was still here. So that's another reason why I do what I do, right? And my goal is to help busy moms, or anybody really, but I'm a mom myself, and I realize that it's hard as a mom to eat healthy. So I want them to enjoy eating. I want them to learn how to eat healthy, even in the midst of chicken nuggets and pizza and party time. So a life without self-love, right? So it's one of the most powerful tools you can have in your toolbox is self-love. And I learned this later on in life. I had to learn my self-love through my adolescent and young adult life. And without self-love, you're more likely to neglect your own needs, right? You may hang out with the wrong crowd just because you feel like you need to be there, or you may put your needs aside for the needs of others when they might not even do the same for you, right? And you also become more tolerant of destructive behavior. So if you are in a relationship and it may get, emotionally or physically abusive, if you love yourself, or when you love yourself, you need self-love to get out of those situations. And no one deserves to be in an abusive relationship where somebody doesn't care about them. But self-love is a magnet in my learnings in life, and reading as well. I've got a whole list of books that I've read throughout my self-love journey. But self-love is a magnet. So if you love yourself, you treat yourself kindly, that will show others how they need to treat you. And if you find somebody that doesn't treat you up to your standards, then you will automatically just get rid of them. But if you don't love yourself and treat yourself kindly, then that gives an invitation to people, for people not to treat you kindly, and then you feel like you deserve that. And that is a lie. I want you to know that. You might be hypocritical of all the decisions you make, right? You might be a people pleaser, and again, finding it hard to say no. Perfectionist, right? Getting really, really, really down on yourself, and neglecting your own needs for those around you. So some of the signs and symptoms of someone who lacks self-love, right? You're needy. You feel like you always need someone around to give you that happiness that you're missing. But happiness is a personal choice, and happiness comes from within, right? Again, being in those chaotic relationships, whether romantic or a job relationship, friendship, right? Perfectionism, again, getting upset at yourself because something's not perfect. And nothing is ever perfect. Everything is just as it is, right? And it will get better. If you think about if you've ever played an instrument, or, you lip sync to one of your favorite songs, you don't know the words right away. Or you're playing an instrument, you don't know how to play the instrument right away. Feel like you're wearing a mask, where you don't feel like you can be yourself, and also struggling with boundaries. Again, like letting people in that don't deserve to be in, and really getting misused and abused. So really trying to, thinking about, right, boundaries. Here are 13 habits for developing more self-love within yourself. So we've got boundaries, right? We started with boundaries in the last slide. Ended with it. We're going to start with it here, right? You have to put up boundaries. If people are treating you badly, you have to get yourself out of that situation, and you have to say, I do not condone this treatment of myself. I will treat myself well, and that way other people will treat me well. And a way to bring boundaries to yourself is affirmations. We'll cover that a little later, but affirming yourself, saying, I am enough, right? I am a good person. I love myself. And if you say that stuff out loud, there's just something about hearing yourself say those words that really makes it click. And it may not happen right away, but again, with practice and time, you'll learn to love yourself. And again, I have gone through my journey. I've known others that gone through their journey. I mean, if you pick up any self-help book, I read Gabby Bernstein. I think I have her new book over here, Self-Help. I also have Kelsey Aida, right? So some of the books that I read, right? Actually, I can. This greatest book, great for motivation, right? And then, of course, Gabby Bernstein is a classic, and so she just dropped a new book. But really reaching outside of your comfort zone to get that information about self-love, right? So self-care, right? If you think about being upset or being in a space that's not serving you, get outside. Change your situation, right? Maybe take a shower or a hot bath. Grab a healthy meal, because I will tell you, as a weight loss and a nutrition coach, the food that you eat not only fuels your physical body, but emotional too. And I would say your brain is your physical. If we're not getting into the emotional, we're getting into the biology. Your brain is the computer. And if the computer's not charged up, your brain's going to run slow, right? And the brain needs to be charged up with healthy foods like you see here. Vegetables, fruits, nuts. We just came from urgent care with my daughter. She was backed up for 3 days. We haven't gotten sleep for 3 days because her stomach has been hurting for 3 days. Doctor had to tell her, you got to eat more fiber, right? Even me as a health coach, I'm a mom. Sometimes I give in and I don't give her those healthy things because I'm a mom. I'm not perfect. I'm just trying to feed my kid. And yes, so I've got to realize too, like, I've got to make sure she eats those healthy things. But if you're a mom, you know that your kids fight you on a lot of these food choices, but you really have to just take away the bad choices, just like with yourself. If there's food in the house that you eat because you love to eat it, and as opposed to you needing it, right? Take it away. Ice cream, you can always have it on a case by case basis, right? Like, don't have ice cream in the house, but maybe you go out for somebody's birthday and you have ice cream. Boom. It's like once every few months. You don't need it all the time, right? Call a family friend, a family member, a friend to chat, right? Get yourself out of your headspace. Spend some time doing stuff that you enjoy. Again, I already talked about reading. I really love reading self-help books. It's really like gotten me through. Do an activity you enjoy. Listen to your favorite music. Listen to calming music. Music is a form of self-care and meditation. And I will say, at my lowest, I stopped listening to music. And music, I know, is a very important part of my life. Affirmations, I mentioned it before, right? With boundaries, right? So some affirmations that you can say to yourself, right? I am worthy of love and respect. I am not responsible for other people's happiness, only my own. I am allowed to make mistakes and learn from them, right? I am not defined by my past, but who I choose to be now. And I am worthy of a happy and fulfilling life. And I'll add a few more of those too, because I find myself ruminating, as many of us do, right, on past situations where we're like, oh, I should have done this better. Or, oh, I was such a horrible person for that, and you have to forgive yourself. So when I find myself in there, I say an affirmation like, I forgive myself for my past mistakes, right? I deserve forgiveness from myself. I'm not always going to make the right choice, and I will apologize and take responsibility so that I can move forward. So, embracing lack of control. I know for my type A people that might sound ludicrous, but there are so many things in life that you can't control. And getting yourself worked up over the things you can't control just does not work, right? So we have to think of the things that we can control and then embrace things when they're out of control, right? Like, we can control the things that we eat. We can control if we're on time or late to work by how early we leave. Now, we can't control if there's an accident on the road, but we can control whether we get there 10 minutes early or we get there 10 minutes late, right? We can control, a lot of things in our life. We can control our outfit. We may not be able to control the weather, So again, like, taking the time to embrace that, and really with gratitude, right? When something's out of your control, think about the things that you are grateful for, right? Like the breath. I can control my breath. I am grateful for the breath that is coursing through my lungs, right? I am grateful for the life that I am worthy to live, right? I mentioned that before, forgiveness, right? And the first person you have to forgive, yourself. I'm pointing at me because I've got to forgive myself. I'm pointing at you because you got to forgive yourself. Like, forgive yourself. I love that little emoji that just came up. You cannot beat yourself up for your past. You can't get hung up on things that have happened, right? You got to move forward and you got to forgive yourself. And then you also have to forgive others that have hurt you as well, so that you can live in happiness, right? Like no one's ever happy 24/7, but you can choose to have an equilibrium of happiness so that when stuff does happen, you can bounce back a little quicker. Meditation. So, as a yoga teacher, right, as well as a health coach, um, I infuse meditation obviously in my yoga classes, but also when I'm working with my clients, right? Like, you really want to slow down. You really want to get into your body. You also want to be quiet because there's so many things that happen when we're quiet and we just like listen to what's around us, listen to our surroundings, listen to the higher powers or God, right? Some people get downloads when they're just quiet, right? So meditation helps you to be quiet. And then you can also do a guided medication, a guided meditation, right? Like if you were to close your eyes right now, right? Just humor me. Close your eyes, right? And focus on your breath. How it's coming in and out of your lungs, right? You may be slouching, maybe sit up, right? You can feel your body, right? And as you breathe in, right, imagine love as a light entering your body. And every time you inhale, you can feel that light filling up, right? Feel that love filling up. And when you exhale, it doesn't go away. It just doesn't fill up, right? It's still bright. And inhaling, it gets even brighter, right? That love for yourself. And I want you to take that light and direct it to somebody who you know needs that right now. Right? As much love as you give yourself, you want to give it away too, because people need other people to love them as well. Right? Because we don't live in a bubble. And when you're ready, right, take one more big cleansing inhale and exhale. And then you can open your eyes. Right, so that's just one way that you can meditate, right? And that was a guided meditation. So you can either get guided meditations off apps, right? Websites. I actually have my own guided meditations in my membership. So you don't have to just sit there in silence and go, what do I do? Right? There's so many things out there. Let go of your tough self, right? Like stop taking everything so seriously. I am super clumsy. And I've learned to grow into and love my clumsiness because I'm going to stub my toe. I'm going to walk too close to the wall and hit my shoulder. Like, I'm going to scratch myself putting lotion on or something like that. Like, that just always happens to me. And my daughter is just as clumsy and she gets so mad. And so I'm learning to teach her how to really, like, it's okay. You stubbed your toe. Ha ha. Instead of getting mad, maybe laugh. And it may seem like a forced laugh, but then it'll make you like really laugh because it's like, dude, that little stuff, like, and I don't know if we mentioned gratitude, but being grateful for your life, being grateful for your breath. Other people have it a lot worse, right? You got to be grateful for what you have, and and the things that you can give to the world. And gratitude also helps with stress management. Right? Like as a mother, as a parent, right? You're stressed out. And we're also working parents, right? So then you got stress from work, you got stress from your kids, right? You may have a spouse, you may have a side job or you're in school or so those stresses are coming from everywhere. You may be a caregiver. And so identify your triggers, right? And sometimes it's hard to do that on your own. So I recommend reaching out for help, right? Therapy is so much more widely accepted and it works, right? Go talk to somebody. Go identify those triggers so that you can prepare and avoid what happens when you do get triggered, right? We talked about meditation. Um, we talked about walking outside, right? That's stress management. We didn't talk about exercise yet, but exercise is a way to manage your stress, right? Sleep. You got to get sleep. I think I mentioned earlier, I haven't got sleep for 3 days because my daughter has been constipated. Like, you got to get quality sleep, you know? And so that's one of the things I couldn't control. I couldn't control her, being sick. But I did control how I spoke to her, right? If I'm irritated or if I'm lack of sleep. Um, and so, right, quality of sleep. I'm also an entrepreneur, so sometimes I neglect that and I'm up till midnight when I got to get up at 6 in the morning, you know? So, and again, we talked about your brain. Your brain not only needs those healthy things that come from food, the healthy food, it also needs sleep, right? This big supercomputer needs rest. You got to get enough rest. Eating healthy, we've been talking about eating healthy, right? But start out as cutting out as many processed foods as possible, right? So soda, I know soda's so addicting. Count how many sodas you have, knock it down by one each week. Replace it with water, right? Your body needs water. Be an informed consumer. The soda, turn it around, read it. You don't need anything that's in there, right? You need more fruits and vegetables in your diet. You need to drink lots of water. Watch your portion sizes, right? Our stomach is only this big as our fist. And shoveling food in our mouth, it overexerts our stomach, right? And we don't want to do that. And a lot of times we don't eat healthy because it's something emotional too. So again, right, getting help for the things that cause you to overeat or to grab those sugary things, right? You gotta move, right? You always gotta be moving. And then I can't see what that last thing is. But yeah, you gotta put movement in your daily schedule. Um, and little things I like to do, right? I like to, when I go grocery shopping or I go to the store, I park far back and I lead with gratitude in that. I'm like, one, my legs work. I am so grateful that I have two legs that work. I'm going to keep these closer spots to people that need them, right? And then two, like, you need your steps. So you get your steps in, right? So that's an easy way to get steps in. Like, get moving, right? As you move, your body releases endorphins. This helps with self-deprecating talk because a workout might be hard, but when you're done, you're like, oh my God, I just did that. I just did that. And you feel so good, right? So find the activity you love. Like on my healing journey, on my health journey where I lost 52 pounds, 4 dress sizes, the gym was so confusing to me, even as an ex-athlete, right? I only did what my coaches told me to. I wasn't really interested in learning how to lift weights, right? And so when I went through my whole transformation, I found hot yoga. And that helped me to gain confidence in my body, also to know where my body is in space, right? Like when you're working on working out, right? You get to feel your body, whether it's lifting weights, whether it's doing cardio. Some people like dancing. Take a dance class, right? If you're confused about what to take, go to your local Y, go to your local gym, look at the schedule, pick a class, go to the class. You have somebody tell you what to do for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 60 minutes, and then you're done. And it's community too. You get to meet new people. So yes, walking outside with your family. You know, a lot of us busy moms try to fit it in. Take a walk outside with your family. And that way, not only are you getting your steps in, you're building healthy habits for your next generation, right? For your kids so that they grow up to go, you know what? Walking is really healthy or going to the gym is really healthy. I'm going to continue to do that in my adult life. Speak your mind. So this also comes with boundaries, right? You want to tell people how you're feeling. You don't want to be rude, but you want to tell people, hey, hi, I'm almost done. Do this for me. Can you read one more book? And I promise you, as soon as you're done with that book, I'll be upstairs.
Okay.
And then you can have your iPad back. Okay?
Okay.
All right. I love you.
Love you too.
I'm proud of you. So that was my daughter, if you couldn't tell. And I took her iPad away because, sometimes you have to digital detox your kids even though they don't want to. And we're getting into reading. She loves reading. And so I'm not making it a punishment. I'm just going, you know what? There's other things that you can do besides watching your iPad. Why don't you read one of those books that you have? Like, you got a ton of books. So that's me speaking my mind. And she spoke her mind too. She asked for what she wanted. I always teach her, you won't know if you can get that thing, right? If you don't ask. You don't know what you don't know if you don't ask. So, right, the opposite of self-love is constantly serving others, right? So you want to put yourself first. You don't want to be a narcissist, but like if you're at work and you stubbed your toe and you just need a break, like tell somebody, right? Or if you can't come in that day, don't come in. Or, with your partner, right? If you need help with the kids or with your parents or, I want you to cook tonight or whatever, like just speak your mind, right? Speak your truth. Again, you can do things like meditation, like exercise that build up that confidence so that you can say, hey, I need help with this, or I don't like how you treated me, standing up for yourself. That can even mean like food. I know I always bring it back to food, but if you feel like you're addicted to some unhealthy food and your partner brings it into the house, tell them to stop bringing them in, right? Like if you really love me and you want to help me on this journey, like stop bringing that stuff in. This is what I need from you, right? And then just like we said, sometimes you can't control what happens. Like hopefully the good outcome is they go, yes, babe, I support you and I won't bring this stuff in. On the other side, they might say, you should have some self-control and I'm still going to bring it in. And you know what? So then you speak your mind again and you make that known and you figure out a plan. So you're not going to get any of these overnight, right? Practice makes perfect. I say perfect in quotes because no one's perfect, but practice also makes it permanent. Yes, baby girl.
Okay. Can I watch my iPad while I'm eating?
But I thought you were reading. Finish reading the book, baby.
I wasn't reading anything.
No, I just told you to read.
Okay.
Are you eating?
Yeah.
Okay, well, eat without the iPad because I'm not ready to give it to you yet. Can you let me finish this video?
How about I read a book before I finish my dinner and then...
Okay, fine,
Yes.
fine. Okay, so yes, you have to do this every single day. I swear to you, 15, 20 years ago, I couldn't get on camera like this. And today, I could care less what people think about me being on camera with rollers. It's not about me, it's about my message. Right? And so I worked on my self-love. I still have ways to go, but I am so far from where I used to be. Right? Like, my daughter. Love my daughter. But I conceived her in a time when I didn't love myself. And then when I realized I was pregnant, I was like, yeah, so I'm going to stop all the people pleasing. I'm going to stop not believing myself and looking for outside validation because that's how I got pregnant. And 8 years later, she's, the apple of my eye. Like, I love her. Whatever I do for her, right? Like, that was a defining moment in my healing journey where I was like, dude, I got to, like, focus in because I've been focusing outward. And here I am, right? Went from single mother to now happily married. Um, I've got not only a husband, but I have a bonus son too, and in-laws. And I'm not alone anymore. I had my daughter when I was alone, and yeah, that's part of my journey. And just because you have kids when you don't plan it doesn't mean that your life is over. So I say that. The takeaway, right? What do we take away here? That self love is accessible to all of us. We all deserve self love, right? We just have to give ourselves enough time, right? Doing those things that I mentioned, exercising, self love, affirmations, right? Eating healthy, boundaries, and getting support also is key, right? Whether that's working with a therapist, right? Or working with a coach of some kind, right? So that's it for me in terms of self love. So I want to let you know where you can find me. So again, I am a weight loss coach and a yoga teacher. And I always infuse self love in everything that I teach. And so you can check me out at briannawarner.com. I have my exclusive membership that I am dropping, that I cannot wait to show you guys. It is all in my app, which I have been using for my private clients. But you'll get recipes, right? You're going to have on-demand yoga classes. And this is all in the palm of your hand, right? It's all in my app, right? We're going to be doing meditation, right? Nutrition talks, positive affirmations, right? As I just spoke about how much self-love is needed in the world, and how hard it is to do it by yourself, right? And in my membership, you'll have a supportive community, not just me, but the other women involved, right? So yeah, go to my website, briannawarner.com. I also have free recipes on there, if you're not ready to jump into a membership. I also do one-on-one coaching too, and one-on-one yoga classes and group yoga classes. So again, briannawarner.com is where you can get all my info, right? I show you my teaching schedule. I'm actually teaching this Saturday. I show you how to work with me, right? I've got one-on-one, or I've got group coaching, right? And this picture right here, I lost 52 pounds. I gained 20 of it back, and I still look like a boss. I still look like a rock star. Like, I still felt amazing enough to take these photos, right? And so that's what I want to teach you. I want to teach you how to wear yellow pants. I don't know anybody that wears yellow pants, and I borrowed those pants, and those pants, after I posted those pictures, everybody was like, "Woo, I can't pull off yellow pants." Like, who wears yellow pants? Like, you got to have confidence enough to rock whatever you want, to look however you feel. And so I would love to help you on that journey if you do need a coach, someone by your side. So thank you for sitting here with me for my my talk on self-love, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.